Historic relegations in 21st century. Let's get it, guys. Juventus in 2006, perhaps the most high-profile relegation in the world of football. For some, it was just a relegation, but also the revelation of the dark side of Italian football in recent years. Calciopoli opened a door that many people, instead of closing, exposed Juventus accused of manipulating referees in their favor. The Italian courts showed no mercy in condemning the club to relegation. However, they would return to the following year with Del Piero, a son of the club, scoring 20 goals in the competition, and many predicted a decline for the club, but this did not happen. 5 years without winning the Scudetto followed, but the victory would be the first of 9 in a row. That is crazy. That is wild. Corinthians, one of the most high-profile events in Brazilian football, occurred when Corinthians was relegated to the second division. Just 2 years earlier, Timão had won the Brazilian Championship and signed a contract with Media Sport Investment to reach new heights. However, the investment group ended embroiled in a financial scandal and was accused of money laundering. With investment cutbacks, problems began to arise at Corinthians, leading to its departure from the first division. That is crazy, bruh. Financial shit be happening to clubs all over the world, even big teams. Villarreal in 2013. It was 2012 when we witnessed one of the most biggest events in Spanish football in recent years. In the previous season, Villarreal had a fantastic campaign, finishing fourth in the Spanish league, with Rossi and Neymar standing out. However, in the following season, the club started to suffer a setback that would dedicate their fate. Rossi suffered 2 serious knee injuries that would also affect Neymar. After his recovery, he would struggle to regain his previous form. The result, relegation to La Liga 2, finishing in 18th place, just ahead of Sporting Gijón and Racing with 41 points. That is crazy. Schalke for 2021. Schalke, for one of the giants of German football, has won 7 German leagues, 5 German cups, and 1 Europa League, not to mention reaching the semifinals of the Champions League in 2010 and 2011 season. However, this did not prevent the club from being relegated to the second tier after a disastrous season in which it only won 3 games in the entire competition. Added to this was a problem of investment, which caused the club to fall behind its competitors. They returned to the top flight shortly afterwards, but without the power to continue. They were relegated again, even reaching 13th place in Bundesliga 2. That is crazy. I know they're one of the big giants for Germany. Now, here one of the most historic ones. Just 1 year after Ballet Santos was relegated to the second tier for the first time in its history. This was confirmed in December 2023 following a 2-1 home defeat to Fortaleza. The club announced that the number 10 would not be worn again until it returned to the top flight. I did not know about that. That number 10 would not be part of it until they return back. They're back. Also, Neymar, I think last year helped them stay from relegation, if I'm correct. Sampdoria 2011. Things can change dramatically and quickly in a short space of time. Sampdoria, in a case in point, 4-time winners of the Italian Cup and champions in the 1991 season, with players such as Mancini, Vialli, Paligua, Careso, among others, experienced a rapid, dramatic climb. The previous season, the Serie A campaign had been a huge success, finishing in 4th place, where it led to the club qualifying for the Champions League playoffs. However, the following season, 2010-2011, was a disaster. They finished the competition in 18th place with 36 points and failed to reach the group stage of lucrative competition. Damn. Palmeiras 2002. With a huge fan base, Palmeiras is one of the biggest clubs of South American continent. However, the greatness has its dark side, as the Porco pig known at all too well. Having experienced days of great bitterness in 2002 season after seeing its relegation confirmed, the first since then. 10 years later, Panama was once again haunted by the ghosts of the past, having been relegated to the Serie B again in 2012. That is crazy, bruh. That is crazy. AEK, considered one of the Greece's big three, AEK experienced dark days in 2013. The Greek club ended up being penalized with a 3-point deduction after its fans invaded the pitch during a match against Panikos. AEK restarted as an amateur club and was placed in the Greek 3rd division. It returned to the top flight of Greek football in 2025. Damn, what the heck? This is real recent. AS Monaco 2011. What the heck was happening in 2011, bro? Why are there so many big teams like getting relegated, bro? When we talk about Monaco, we immediately think of yachts, beaches, parties, and luxury. However, not everything was luxury for AS Monaco in 2011. 2010-2011 season, one of the most successful clubs in France, was relegated to the second tier after the disastrous season, finishing in 18th place. It would only return to League One 2 years later. 4 years on, with Mbappe now in the team, AS Monaco would once again be crowned champions. I mean, at least a bit of happiness for the fans after, being relegated and being in the second division. Fiorentina, poor management can almost destroy club's legacy, and Fiorentina came close to facing the reality the team has been relegated 4 times, but the relegation in the 2001-2002 season could have been fatal as the club went bankrupt, losing the rights to its ensemble name and even the use of its famous purple kit. Its fate would have been Series C2, the Italian 4th division. However, with Andrea Valle, I probably said that bad. But anyways, the Italian club regained the right to use what it had lost just 8 years earlier. It did not compete in Series C1 on sporting merit, having been immediately promoted to the second division. In June 2004, it won the playoff against Perugia, thus confirming its return to the top flight of Italian football. Damn. I mean, props to them for climbing up. They also, they don't mention here, but I think they went to like 2 or 3 back-to-back conference league champion final, and they lost like both of them times, 3 times if I'm correct. I think one was against Roma, the other one don't remember what club it was, but they lost twice back-to-back. Newcastle 2009, 2000, and 2016. It is one of Europe's coach clubs and plays an important role in English football. We are talking about Newcastle. As one of the most decorative clubs at national level, Newcastle faces enormous pressure every season. However, things do not always go smoothly. Although it has been relegated 6 times, 2 of those relegations have occurred this century, the first in 2009 and the second in 2016. The truth is that the club returned to a top flight of English football the following season. I mean, when they go down, they come up a little bit consistent thing there, I guess, being in the top division ish. This one, if you don't remember this one, bro, 2011, after 110 years at the top of Argentinian football, the Giants River Plate saw the darkest days in its history arrive. It was 2011 after a playoff with Belgrano. When relegation was confirmed, this event caused several riots to spread through the city. Added to this were financial problems, which led the club to sell its stars at bargain prices. One notable example was Eric Lamela, who ended up leaving for AS Roma for 10 million plus 2 million in bonuses. After a season in the second division, the Millionaires would return to the top flight. That is crazy. I remember this, but then they also end up winning Copa Libertadores just like 4 or 5 years later.